Hi, good evening SPOC. So welcome back to our live session 3. Once again, thank you for joining us. So during this session, we are going to see how the exam registration form will work. So I'm going to start from the beginning, from the link where we can log in. So you can see that as you can see, this is the NPTEL portal. In the middle of the screen, you can see the March 2020 exam registration. Click here. Similarly, another link has been given for the April 2020 exam registration link. So this is where you click to go to the exam form. So we have to assume that you have already enrolled to the course. So enrollment is your step 1. Assuming that you have enrolled to March and or April courses, we are going to see how to register for these exams. So let us go ahead and click on the registration link.
That is the series. We will check. See.
Okay, so we are going ahead and clicking on we are trying to register for the April exams now. So I am going to click on the link that is given here. So it is taking me to this page where it says this is the Jan to April exam form. So let us click on login. So it is mentioned here that you should use, as much as possible, use the Chrome browser, which works better than most of the other browsers. So I am going to log in here, and it is giving me a page where I can log in. So I am going to click on the Google tab, and using my email ID, I am going to log into my account.
Local check.
Yeah. Okay, so we are now logged in. So we are going to go to the exam form link, registration for Jan-April 2020 exams opened. You can also see another link that is given here, January-April 2020 exam courses. This is the course list for which has only the April courses. If you want to go and check which courses are available for the April exams, you can click on that link and it takes you to the page where the April exams alone are listed. You can see the exam date is listed here, April 25 and 26. So this is where you can see all the April exam courses alone listed. So I am going to close this window now, and let's go back and click on the exam form link. So as I click, it is taking me to the page where you can see there are a few tabs on the left hand side, about 5 tabs. So the first one says basic information, the next one is college details, address details, photo sign, and then add course. On top of all of this, you can see the green tab which says timelines and guidelines. Now this is a very important document, so I'm going to click on it. Let's see what is given there. So the timelines and guidelines, this is meant for all candidates who are taking NPTEL certification courses or getting ready to write the exam. Here, as you can see, the timelines are updated here throughout this semester. So we expect the candidates to come to this link for the updated date, time, etc. So the first part of this link, it shows the start and the end date of the exam, the courses, the exam date, when the exam fees are due, the last date for changes if any, for exam cancellations, etc., etc. And then when the hall tickets will be released, and again exam fees, how much is the exam fees, and there are some sample calculations also, and the FDP certificates, what is the fees, etc. And finally some general guidelines are also given. So we are urging all candidates, this includes faculty, students, any learner, to go through these guidelines and timelines and get familiarized with the basic rules that we follow. So it's easier for you to go through the semester if you know the fundamental guidelines that we follow NPTEL for NPTEL exams and certification. So let us go through the basic information tab. So this basically pertains to your personal details. So it has some important notes that are displayed here. So for candidates who are paying through the local chapter of a college, after filling the form, for payment you can contact the SPOC of your college. If the college is going to pay on behalf of the candidates, please write to us. Yes, there is a feature called bulk payment. Currently it is not enabled in the exam form. We are working towards that, and very soon we will notify you how you can make that bulk payment. Till then, let the candidates fill the form and ask them to wait until you notify them to pay the fees. Those candidates who are paying directly, they can go ahead and fill the form and pay the exam fees. Now the second set of notes that given here, use Google form as much as possible to fill the exam form, and instead of using the tab key, use your mouse to go between one field to the next. And any field that is marked with a red star here, as is shown here, is a mandatory field. So you have to fill that particular column to move to the next page. Now please also note the fundamental details that you are going to fill here. There is a name, date of birth, your photo, etc. Once you fill and you save, you will not be able to change it. Okay, so please be very careful when you are filling your name, your date of birth. Many times we get mails from candidates saying, by mistake I typed my name incorrectly, or by mistake I chose the wrong year while entering the date of birth. Please remind your students that they should pay more attention and check everything before it says save the field, because whenever we are asking you to fill the form, we are giving you multiple times the reminder keeps coming up asking you to confirm that yes, this change is necessary, and yes, this change we are confirming. So if the student pays a little bit more attention, he or she can make sure that the name is spelled correctly, the date, month, year, everything is entered correctly. So here I am going to enter the name. So I have entered my name as local chapter. So please pay attention to the note that is given here. The name entered here will appear in your certificate. So those candidates who pass the NPTEL exam will be eligible for a certificate, and the name that you give here is what is going to appear in your certificate. So this is the time when you have to decide whether you want to have your name with an initial alone, or you want a full name, you want a shorter version of your name. It is up to you, because many times after the certificate is generated, we get mails from candidates saying, ma'am, can you please change the name and change it to this. So understand that we are getting 2.53 lakh candidates who are writing exams. So such individual queries, it will be very difficult for us to go back and change. So again and again we are urging you to make sure that the name, date of birth, etc. are entered correctly. So no further changes will be entertained. The name entered here will appear in your certificate. Date of birth. Again, these are numbers. So many times what we see is, instead of the day, I entered the month here and I did it vice versa. Again, it's clearly mentioned here. You have to mention the day. So please mention the day correctly, the month correctly, and the year also. Let's enter it correctly. So again, a note is given here. Date of birth will be verified against a government issued ID card at the venue of the exam. When the candidate goes to the exam center to write the exam, he or she will be carrying the printout of the hall ticket along with the ID card. The hall ticket will contain the candidate's name and other details, plus date of birth will be available there and also their photo. So this date of birth will be checked against a valid government ID card that the candidate is supposed to bring to the exam center. So it is extremely important that the date of birth is entered correctly. No changes will be entertained after this form is submitted. So ensure that the date of birth is entered correctly. Okay, so the email ID is already populated here. This is because this is the email ID I used to enroll to the course. So the same email ID is given here. So understand that your email ID must be a unique email ID. Meaning, if you use different email IDs to enroll to the course, then use another mail ID to register for the exam, what will happen is the assignments will be submitted through one ID, whereas the exam will be registered through another ID. So your assignment marks will not be calculated towards the consolidated exam score. Okay, so as I mentioned, the email ID, be very careful what email ID you are using. So what we suggest is you use the same email ID throughout the semester, throughout the course run. So use the same email ID to enroll to the course, to register for the exam, submit assignments. Okay, so I am moving on to the next column, which is the gender and my mobile number. Okay, so I have entered my mobile number and I have also confirmed the same mobile number. Now what is the significance of entering your correct mobile number here? See, many times when there is some alert, some announcement that we want to share with the candidate, what we do is we send an email, we send out announcements through the course also, and we also try to send SMS to the candidates in case they miss the mail or something like that. So it is important that you give us the correct mobile number so that the SMS reaches you and you will act accordingly. So make sure that you enter your mobile number also correctly. Now, the next column is extremely important. The question is, are you physically challenged? So, you are given two options, yes or no. So, if you are not physically challenged, go ahead and say no and then move on to the next question. If you are indeed physically challenged, if you click on yes, a few more other options are showing here. So, you can see that there are 4 options given here: orthopedically handicapped, visually impaired with scribe, without scribe, and hearing impaired. Now, these are the 4 different types of physical challenges that we have listed here. So, let's say you are going with visually impaired with scribe. Now, many times people are not sure what a scribe means. So, scribe is a person who will come with you to the exam. So, the scribe will accompany you to the exam center. He or she will read out the questions from the monitor to you, and you will be replying the questions with answer, and the scribe, that person, will again enter it on the computer. So, this person is going to be acting on your behalf, and he or she will be entering the answers on the monitor. So, this question is something you have to be very careful while you are answering, because if you need a scribe, that means you will have to arrange the scribe. And there is a process for that. If you need the help of a scribe, we will ask you and you can give us the details of the scribe and we will help you take it forward. But please understand that when you click on visually impaired with scribe, it means that one other person is going to be accompanying you to the exam center. So please be very careful when you are filling this column. Now, if you say visually impaired without scribe, again it is saying that scribe is the person who will be accompanying you. So you have to be very careful when you say what kind of help you need here. If you mark as hearing impaired, again at the exam center we will make sure that if you need any help, it is taken care of. Again, if you mark as orthopedically handicapped, we ask other questions such as, do you need an elevator at the exam center? So if you say yes, then we will try and give you an exam seat which is either on the ground floor, or we will make sure that you have access to the elevator to go to the higher floors. So again, when you fill this column, please read it again and again and make sure you are selecting the correct option. So I am going to select the option visually impaired without scribe. I am clicking on OK here. Now there is a note here on the right hand side. If your disability is 40% or above, please select yes and upload a valid PWD certificate issued by a valid medical authority. Now, here the question is, if your disability is 40% or above, people who have disability must be familiar with this process. So if I say yes here, then I am given an option to upload the correct file, which is a PWD certificate issued by a notified medical authority. Okay, so I am going to say no here and move on to the next question. So I have answered all these questions. Now the last question is, do you belong to the SC/ST category? Please note that if you say yes to physically challenged or yes to SC/ST category, there is a discount in the exam fees. By government mandate, you will pay only 50% of the exam fees if you mark yes to SC/ST category or the physically challenged category. So, next question is, do you belong to the SC/ST category? If I say yes, again note that I am asked to upload a valid community certificate. Now, what is defined as a valid community certificate? So another description is given here, which shows the document has to be signed by such and such authorities. So you have to upload that document. So I am going to go ahead and say no here, and then just go and scrolling up to make sure that I have filled all the columns. If I miss filling any of these columns, it will give me an alert. So I think I have filled all the columns correctly. Alternate contact number is not mandatory, so I am leaving it out. So I am going ahead and clicking on the next button. So as you can see, the first column, basic information, is filled now. It has moved to the college details tab. So the first question that is being asked here is your current role. Are you a student or a faculty, or are you employed? There is fourth option called other. So if you are a student, I am clicking on the student option. See, one alert is popping up. Please select this option only if you are still studying in this college. If you have already graduated, please select others under roll. So this option of student should be selected only by those people who are currently studying at that institution. So if I am a teaching faculty, I should click on the tab on the option faculty, not employed. So there is an option student for current students, one for faculty, and the third option is for employed. This applies to people who are employed in some organization other than a college or a teaching institution. So those people who come under that category can click on the employed option. And if you don't belong to any of these categories, you may click on the other option and fill the remaining columns. So I am going ahead and filling the student column. Note that if you are applying for the FDP certificate, you must fill it as faculty here. If it is not filled as faculty, you will not be given the option of applying for an FDP certificate. Okay. So let us go ahead and fill the column as a student. So the country, India, state, I am selecting Tamil Nadu, city. So again note that you may not see all cities here. The list of cities that have been displayed are all cities that come under where the local chapters are situated. So when a college applies to become a local chapter, the city is mapped to the college. So only those cities will be displayed here. So if a city is not displayed here, no problem. You can click on others and enter the name of the city. So I have selected the state Tamil Nadu. So now I am going to select the city here. So I am going and selecting the city Virudhunagar. And finally name of the college. So the moment I select the city as Virudhunagar, colleges or local chapters that come in this city are the only ones that will be displayed here. You can see a small bunch of college names are popping up here. So I am going to select the college name. Now I have selected the college name. Again, the list of only local chapter colleges will be listed here. So if a student does not belong to a local chapter college, the college name will not be displayed here. They can again choose others and fill the form. Now degree. This is information that we are collecting so that we can design our programs, we can design our initiatives based on this. So this is information that if you accurately provide us, it will help us design our program. So I am going and saying BTech, and I am saying Electronics and Communication Engineering, and year of study I am in the 3rd year. So I have filled all those columns. Now other details. Again, this is some survey information for our own purpose. So I am asking, how did you know about these courses? I came to know this NPTEL courses through my college. What is the motivation for doing this course? There are several options given here. I am saying I want to update my knowledge. Now 2 or 3 more questions are also now given here. So these are again extremely important questions that you have to pay very close attention to. And SPOCs out there, please make sure that your students understand what this means. Are you taking this exam for credit transfer? That is the question. So 2 options are given here, yes or no. If I say no, you can see that you may choose to share or not share your exam score. Why does it say like that? Let's go back and click on yes first and see why it is. Are you taking this exam for credit transfer? If I say yes, it says if the exam is taken for credit transfer, by default your exam score and e-certificate will be shared with your college. So what does credit transfer mean? Some colleges and universities are allowing students to take NPTEL certification courses in the place of a particular course that is offered by the college or the university. The marks or the score obtained by the candidate will be taken by the college into their system and credited. So if the student knows that he or she is going to take one NPTEL exam for this credit that goes to the college system, then they have to mark yes. So as soon as he says yes to taking the exam for credit transfer, by default the exam marks, e-certificate, etc. will be mandatorily shared with the college. Only then the college can give the credit to the student. So, by saying yes here, the details of the student will be mandatorily shared with the college. If the student marks no here, now we are giving a choice to the student to share or not share the information with the college. This is now left to the student. The student may choose to share or not share exam score with college. So, if the student wants to say share the score with the college, he can click on yes. Otherwise, he can say no. So, if I say yes, once again it is showing that please note that your registration details, your hall ticket, marks, etc. will be shared with the college. If I say no here, understand that my details will not be shared with my college. This has one ramification. What is that? When the results are not shared with the college, that means at the end of the semester, when NPTEL takes all the results into consideration for rating of the local chapter at the end of the semester, if the students' results are not available in the login, we will not take this into consideration. So, in other words, if the student is saying no to sharing with the college, his or her details will not be displayed in the SPOC login, which means it will not be counted towards the ratings calculations. So, once again, please talk to your students about what credit transfer means, what they should do here, whether they should say yes or no, whether it is are they taking this exam for credit, yes, no. If they say no here, do we want to share the information the college, etc. So, it is extremely important that the SPOC or another faculty at the college explains this to the students before they fill these columns. Now that I have filled the columns, I am again putting a tick here saying that I agree and understand my registrations, etc. will be shared with the SPOC and the college. So, I am okay with that, with sharing, so I have agreed to that. Now, the last question is, can we share your contact information with potential employers? Note that many organizations, companies are approaching NPTEL now, asking if we can give them a pool of candidates who have certain profiles, they fall under certain criteria. So, for example, they may say, we need the details of students who have completed such and such course with such and such score, 60% marks, 70% marks, 80% marks. So, here we are asking permission of such candidates. Can we share your contact information with potential employers? If the candidate says yes, that means you are giving permission for us to share those details with potential employers. So, they may or may not contact the candidate regarding internship, regarding recruitment, etc. If I do not want them to contact me, I can say no here. So, I am going to say yes here, and once again I am scrolling up to make sure that I have filled all the columns correctly. Many times we see that the faculty or the student are choosing the role incorrectly. Instead of the faculty, sometimes instead of choosing as faculty, they may choose the employed option, which means they will not be able to apply for the FTP certificate in the form. So, note that it is extremely important that you choose the correct role in this column and accordingly fill the other details. So, now that I have filled all the columns here, I am going to click on next button. So, it has now jumped to the address details. Now, we have already announced to all the candidates from previous semester itself that we will not be printing the course certificates anymore, and we will be sending only e-certificates. So, understand that the address that we are collecting, it is not to print certificates sent to you. Rather, it is for our information in case we need to contact you, send something else to you. We are just collecting the basic address information from you. This is just for records purpose only. So, I am going ahead and filling my address details. Okay, so I have filled the address details and I am clicking on the confirm button and I am clicking on the next button. So I have filled the 3 tabs now. So the 4th tab is photo and signature. Please note that you have to upload a valid photo here, because as you can see, photo will be displayed in your hall ticket. So whenever you upload a photo in this form, please make sure that your face occupies 50% of the area in the photograph and it has a full face view looking directly into the camera. So you can see what is acceptable as a photo and a signature. It is given on the right hand side, the green color pane, and what is not acceptable is shown on the left hand side pane. You can see that somebody has posted selfies, somebody has posted thumbprints, etc., group photos, really small photo that is shown at the end of the page, somebody posing with a teddy bear. Such photos are absolutely not acceptable. So make sure that you upload a professional looking passport size photo. The file size max is 150 KB. Again, make sure that the size does not exceed, otherwise it is not going to allow you to upload the photo. To avoid upload errors, it's best to open the image in MS Paint and save them in JPEG format. Then it gets uploaded properly. And understand again that hall ticket will not be generated and you will not be allowed to write the exam if you submit unacceptable photos such as selfies, blurred images, photos of someone else, dummy photos, group photos, full size photos, etc. Similarly, you have to upload a proper signature also. Thumbprints are not acceptable and it has to be in a plain white background. It has to be clear. It should not be with any background as shown here. So make sure that it's a proper white background signature and also a proper front facing photo. If the photo and signature you upload do not match the given specifications, your exam registration will be cancelled and you will not be allowed to write the exam. Many times we see that students are uploading photos that they have taken in their mobile phone, and then which is either a selfie or it is taken from an angle or it is taken from the top portion of your view. So such photos are absolutely not acceptable. Please note that the photo and the signature will be verified by the NPTEL team. If we find that you have uploaded an unacceptable photo, we will contact you and we will let you know that your hall ticket will not be generated, you will not be allowed to write the exam. We are very strict about this. SPOCs, please tell your students that they have to upload proper photo and signature. We are reiterating this again and again because we have been seeing so many cases where the photos are really not acceptable. So this is very painstaking, and if we see such photos, we are simply not going to generate hall tickets anymore. So far we have been very lenient because we are also thinking that some of the learners are first time learners, we should give them that leniency. But please understand that they also have to learn to upload proper photo signature while filling a form. So it is extremely important. So now we have to upload a photo. Can you say something?
Yeah. So, hi everyone, I'm Jay Krishnan. So while Ms. Kamala is looking at the various options, what I will do is I'll just help you out in telling you why these. So, couple of queries that I see is that
So we have received a few calls in between saying that the chat got disabled. So we are also trying to see why that happened. Unfortunately, it may have maybe some technical issue when we set up the live streaming. We apologize for that, but do not worry. See, the thing is, this is a crucial step. What we are explaining right now to you is a very crucial step in the exam registration process. We also have prepared a lot of help videos on the exam form registration, and we'll be sharing that with you soon. But we thought to inform you SPOC specifically about few of the common mistakes that typically participants, the learners do. One, as you already heard, is the share information. So they think that information, it is something very confidential, and so the latest data privacy rules requires us to ensure that we take explicit consent from each learner as to what kind of information can be shared with the others. So that is why we have this very specific rule that all the scores of the students, even though they are from a local chapter, has to have an explicit consent from the student. The only exception to this rule is when the local chapter uses NPTEL courses for credit transfer. Now please note that just by clicking the courses for credit transfer alone, we are seeing a lot of colleges asking their students to tick the option for credit transfer. This is not the right way of doing it. Whenever a course is taken for credit transfer, it means that the course will, the marks in that course will get reflected in their mark transcript or university mark transcript. So please do not ask your students to select credit transfer by default. Rather, inform them what credit transfer is. So if you yourself have no clarity on what credit transfer is, please do not advise the students to select credit transfer options. Rather, tell them explicitly that yes, the marks that they share, it will be useful for helping out on troubleshooting certificate related issues or marks related issues, because the moment they select credit transfer as yes, share information with college as yes, their details, the students' details or the faculty's details will come to the SPOC login, and from there you will be able to track what happened, as in how much mark they got, have they received the certificate. All these informations will be available in your SPOC login, which is there in your NPTEL local chapter page. So this is the first and foremost information. And the second one, so what Ms. Kamala has been explaining in this just before I took over, the way in which photos and signatures are uploaded. Every semester we see thousands of students uploading wrong type of photos. So some of the example videos on the incorrect ones are actual student uploads or learner uploads. So sometimes it could be a grouping. I mean, two people standing together and taking over clicking over a mobile camera. Now please sensitize the students that whatever photo they take, it is going to come on a certificate, and this may be used even for placements or other details. And more importantly, for each of these students to enter into the examination center, the hall ticket also will have the same photo. So if they use a very old photo, or if they use selfies or incorrect format of photos, from this semester onwards we are going to be very strict. We will not allow the candidate to enter the exam hall. I mean, I understand it is really harsh, but see, every semester our NPTEL office team members spend almost days and nights correcting the photos and then emailing the students that you have given us incorrect photos, and kindly update it so that we can do it at our end. Now, many of you would have suggested, why don't you use a software that can automatically cross check whether it is a passport size or the other. we have tried it almost a year and a half back. What we saw was that this process was loading the exam form a lot, and many of you were getting errors of page timeout or many other things. So while we work on a more simpler solution, it is important that the students also be sensitized that the upload of accurate information is very critical in a smooth running of the examination. Another important thing that you will have to sensitize the students is in the preference order that they give for cities for exams. So now we have opened a list of cities where we have talked with TCS and they have agreed to open up examination centers. Now many of the new cities, if we don't get enough numbers, then the student may be shifted to their second priority or definitely to the third priority. So the third priority, we have a pool of cities which are very much sure shot NPTEL examination centers. So there you don't have to worry about anything. We will ensure that one examination center, so for example Chennai is a third preference city. Now we will ensure that regardless of whatever be the number, at least one examination center is available in Chennai for all the students. So in fact last semester we had a clash of exams along with the AIMS, the medical All India Institute of Medical Science test, admission test, and we had to actually literally scamper through different available examination centers which included colleges which are approved examination centers by TCS. So we had almost 5 to 6 colleges acting as examination centers. So we have enough option in the third preference city. So this is why we always ask students 3 preferences that they have. The first preference could be the same city where they live, the second one could be the nearest city, and the third one could be the nearest major city where we have assured examination centers. The students can select their priority session, but so 90% of the time we try to ensure that all these gets, so whatever the students select, we provide them that exact session, that exact center. But in few cases we may not be able to do we may not be able to find enough numbers on that day or that session. It is only in these cases that we move the students from one examination center to another examination center. Okay, so yet another important thing with regard to examination forms is the examination forms are already open. I believe that many of your students would be coming into colleges starting the academic session right now. So the earlier they register, it will be easier for us to ensure that the appropriate centers are available. So the moment we have the count, the final count available with us, it will be easier for us to negotiate with our exam partner TCS on availability of centers. So please do not ask your students to not wait till the last date of exam registration. For example, if you take courses for credit transfer, then it is you're assured of one exam. The student has to write at least one exam for the credit transfer, right? So please ask the students to enroll as early as possible, and as soon as the courses start. This will also make them commit for that particular learning time. So there are various methodologies to do it. Maybe the first 2 days of sensitization or the class, you take out a session, a half an hour session on why exam registration is important. You can show the video, the help video that we have. You can share it with your students, and you can then tell them follow this process, select one course that is available. So if it is already credit transferred, you would have already shortlisted the courses that are eligible for credit transfer. So both these information, it is important to tell in advance.
Yes, the photo and sign are in this machine.
It's the same.
Can you upload?
Yeah.
Show the form.
Yeah. So what I'm going to do right now is continue from the place where so we were at exactly so we were exactly in this page where you had to upload photo and signature. So let me just go to the page and upload photo. I click on browse and my photo is available over here.
Size card.
So yeah, so you can see over here it is 103 KB.
Less than 50 won't have.
Yeah, so the size.
Yeah. Yes, hi SPOC. So I am back. Just want to make sure that the size of the photo also is important. So you can see the photo, the size is 103 KB. So the specifications say that it has to be above 50 KB. So I am going to open that, and it is giving me a green tick mark, which means that it has accepted the photo. Similarly, I am going to upload the signature also. Sign, it usually says the specification says it has to be above 15 KB. So I am going to open that. Again, it is giving me a green signal, which means the photo and the sign has been accepted by the system. If you try to upload a photo that is of a bigger size or a smaller size than what is given in the specifications, the form will not accept. Then you have to go back and change the size of the image and then re-upload. Okay. Now that I have uploaded the photo and the signature, I am going to click on save and next. Note that it is given save and next, which means the photo and the signature are going to be saved. Again, so make sure that you upload a proper photo and sign so that it is saved to the database and you will not be allowed to change it. So I am going to click on save and next, and it says you are about to submit your profile information. Are you sure you want to proceed? If at this point you are not sure, please click on cancel, go back and re-upload the correct photo, and then again click on save and next. So I am going to click on OK. Save your basic info. Please go on to booking your exam slots. Prevent this page from creating additional dialogues. I am going to click on that and say OK. So it has now saved my photo and signature. You can see on the left hand side, basic information, college details, address details, and photo and signature. We have covered all those. The final tab is add course. So this is where I go and select the course that I want to write the exam for and also pay the exams. This is the place where I also select the exam city. Note that for the April exam, so currently we are in the April exam registration form. In order to add multiple courses, you can add up to 4 courses, that is 2 exams per exam date. The exams are on April 25 and 26. So you can write one exam in the morning session, one in the afternoon session. So April 25 Saturday and April 26 Sunday. Both these days you can write 2 exams. So the maths exams you can write in April and 4 exams. So course details, I am going to click on the arrow here, and as you can see, whichever courses I have enrolled to will show here. So I have enrolled to 5 courses. So I am clicking on Advanced Chemical Thermodynamics and Kinetics. Now exam date. Again, you already know that NPTEL exams, for NPTEL exams the exam dates are predetermined, which means each course will have an exam date on its own. So you cannot interchange the exam date. If you miss writing the exam on Saturday, you cannot write the same exam on Sunday. Sunday will have a different set of exams. So you may write in the morning session or afternoon session, but you cannot switch the exam dates. So when I click on the course name, this course name will already be mapped to a particular exam date. That is what is going to show here. So you can see it is April 25, which is the Saturday. So no other exam date is showing here. This particular exam course is mapped to this exam date alone. So I'm going ahead and clicking on the exam date, and now my next option is to select the exam session. I can choose morning session or evening session. So the morning session, I'm going to click on morning session. Now notice that there is a note that is given here. This is to alert you that based on availability of seats on each exam date in the final city allotted, we might allocate the session of your choice or change the session. What it means is that you are choosing morning session. If we have seats available at that particular exam center on that particular exam date, you will be allocated morning session. If for some reason we don't have sufficient exam seats available, then we are left with no choice but to move you to the afternoon session. Please understand that if you insist on writing the morning session, then we will be left with no choice but to move you to another exam city where there are exam seats available for the morning session. So what we feel is you would probably rather prefer to write in the same city that you have chosen. So we move you from morning to afternoon session. This happens only if we do not have sufficient seats available during that particular exam session. So most of the time we will go with the exact session that you have applied for. In only extreme cases, when we have unexpectedly large number of exam registrations and seats are not available during a morning session, we may move you to afternoon session. Otherwise, you will be allocated to the morning session. So I have now chosen the course, I have chosen the exam date, I have chosen the exam session. Now comes the exam city. So here it says please check this box to select the exam city. Note that 3 cities chosen here will be applied to all courses for which you are writing an exam. What it means is that if let's say you choose to register for one exam now and you are choosing an exam city state now, and then a week later you decide to register for one more exam, and you either deliberately or by mistake you choose another exam city for the second exam. So what will happen is whatever you have chosen latest exam city will be mapped for the first exam also, because obviously you cannot write one exam in one city and the next exam in another city. It will be difficult for you to travel in between. So what we do is, even if you do by mistake or by choice, we make sure that you are mapped to the choice that you are making, the latest choice that you are making. Okay, so this is what this means. So I am going ahead and clicking on the checkbox here. Now I have to choose my first preference exam city and second preference exam city. So exam state, again my college is in Tamil Nadu, so I am selecting Tamil Nadu, and my first choice is I am clicking on Coimbatore. Again second choice exam state, I am selecting Tamil Nadu, and my second choice I am going with Erode. Okay. Now third choice, we are also given the option to select the third choice. Why choice 3 also? Because if for some reason, again, if on the exam date the seats are not available either in my first city exam choice, that is Coimbatore, or second choice Erode, then I will be allocated to my third choice. Now third choice cities, what happens is, let us go ahead and select the state and the city. You can see that a few cities are listed here. These cities, what it says is that it will be available for you to write the exam. No matter what you chose for first choice and second choice, the third choice city you choose, seats will be available there. We will allocate you. So it is extremely important that you choose correct exam city for your third choice. So I am going ahead and choosing Chennai Avadi, and my exam amount is shown here as 1000 rupees. Had I chosen S2, SCST or PWD, the discount amount will now be shown here. Okay. Since I have said no to both those, the full amount 1000 rupees per course is shown here. So my next step is to click on add course, because I have selected my exam course name, exam date, exam session. I have chosen all exam cities, my third choice city. Now I have to click on add course. You are getting a success message saying course is successfully added to the cart. Now I can either go on to add more courses, or I can click on preview the cart. So I am clicking on preview cart to see what I have chosen, just to verify that the details are correct. So as you can see, the course name is shown here, the exam date is shown here, exam session FN means forenoon, that is the morning session, amount is displayed, and payment, it shows payment is not started yet because we have not yet paid the exam fees. Now this is the time when if I want to delete this course, I can do that. There is a delete button at the end of the course name here under action. You can click on it, that will delete the course, and you will also get a confirmation email saying that the course has been deleted. Okay, so I am happy with what I see here. The amount is shown correctly. Now I can choose to add more courses by clicking on the red button here, or I can preview and check out. So I want to add one more course, so I am clicking on add more courses here. So it will again take me to the course details page. Now I am asked to choose the course again. Let's say I go and select the same course that I had chosen previously, Advanced Chemical Thermodynamics and Kinetics. If I do that, a message pops up saying you already have that course in your cart, which means I have already chosen that course. I cannot choose that anymore. So I am choosing Analog Circuits. Again, exam date 25/4/2020. Let's say I am choosing German 1. That is, you can see that the exam date it is mapped to is 26/4. That is on April 26, which is Sunday. So as I told you, each course is mapped to a particular exam date. So I am clicking on Analog Circuits. I am going ahead with my exam date 25/4. Again, exam session, you will remember that I chose morning session for my previous course. Let me see if I can choose morning session for this course also. If I click on morning session, it will say that that slot is already filled for you, which means I have already chosen that. So I have to choose the evening session. So again it says the same alert that based on availability of seat you may or may not be given this session. So again, if I am happy with the exam cities, I don't have to make any changes, or if I want to make any changes, I can put a tick mark here and again change the exam city. As we already told you, if you happen to change exam city here, let's say I am changing my exam city second choice from Erode to Kanchipuram, okay, and my third city from Chennai Avadi to, I am again going back to Chennai or Madurai. So again the exam fees is shown as 1000 rupees. Had I said yes to SC/ST or PWD options, the discount amount will be shown here. Again I am clicking on the button add courses. Course is successfully added. I want to preview this again. Notice that both the courses are now displayed here. First course is morning session, second course is afternoon session. The full amount is shown. Again, payment has not started, and the delete button is available for me to go and make any changes. Now total amount is shown as 2000. There is no discount amount here. Please note that if you have chosen your role as faculty, you will now also be able to add a pay for the FDP certificate. Okay, so I am going to say preview and check out. I am happy with whatever I see here that's displayed, so I am going to say preview and check out. So you can see now that all the details that I had entered so far are displayed here, including my exam city. So if I scroll up, you can see that an application number is displayed here now. Please note that this is a very important unique number, reference number. Anytime you write to us with any issues or any discrepancies that you see, it's always helpful if you quote the application number. So it's a good practice to save this application number so that you can quote this when you send us emails or messages. Okay. So all the other details are here. My date of birth, my phone number. I have said SCST no, your disability 40% or more? No. Then my college name, everything is displayed correctly. My address is given here. My photo signature is here. All the other details. Now the course name, you can see that I changed my second choice to Kanchipuram and my alternate choice to Madurai. That is now mapped for the first course also. Previously I had chosen some other city here. So whatever you choose, the latest choice will be updated for all the courses. So you can see the same city are displayed here. The exam name, session, everything is displayed here correctly. If I have some doubt about the exam fee calculation, I can click on this red button here. There is no discount for me. The total amount to be paid is 2000 rupees. Now direct payment is shown here. SPOCs will recall that previously we had this option called pay via SPOC. So this is an option that we were giving the colleges if the college chooses to pay the exam fees on behalf of the students. So this time it is not available in the form, but please note that we are making it available soon, but not in the form. We will send you the process. We are changing the process for bulk payment on behalf of students. Please bear with us. It is taking a little bit longer than we thought. There are some technical issues that we are sorting out. Once that is fixed, we will notify you. So if there are colleges where the students are not going to be paying by themselves and the college SPOC is going to be paying, then please ask the students to fill the form completely and not pay. Wait for a notification from us and then you can pay on their behalf. Now the last step is for us to click the sign on the declaration. First, let's fill the captcha here. Alright, so I have filled the captcha here, and there are a few statements that are given here. I am above 18 years old, and if I am below 18 years old, I have my parents' guardian's consent to take this course, and I have read all the instructions and I shall abide by any action or decision taken by NPTEL. Now, point 2 is I agree to the following with respect to exam scheduling. That is, NPTEL will as much as possible try to run the exams as scheduled. However, for various reasons that are logistical or operational or any other reasons, NPTEL can make any of the following changes. That is, they may change the date or session of the exam to other options, or they can allocate you to a different city because of non-availability of exam centers or exam seats, or we can even cancel a center based on the exam registration count. You are also agreeing to the conditions that you will not be allowed to write the exam if you enter the exam avenue or the venue beyond the time that is mentioned, or you don't bring the requisite documents or ID proof, etc. NPTEL has the exclusive right to cancel your exam for any malpractice committed by you, and also we can cancel the center city for any unforeseeable circumstances. Now the fourth point is I agree to the evaluation and publication of results. That is, my details and testimonial may be used on the portal and on publicity material if I am a topper. Course instructor's decision on scores and evaluation is always final, and no further clarification will be provided. And also the last point is question paper and solution will not be published for the courses. Time and again we keep getting requests saying please publish the solutions. Please note that we as a policy we do not publish the question paper or the solutions of the final exams. You will be aware that we do publish the assignments as well as the answers and sometimes worked out solutions also for the assignment questions, but not for the final question paper. This is a policy decision. And if I fail, NPTEL will not conduct supplementary exams. The final point is, this is extremely important. Please pay attention and please ensure that your students understand what this means. That you should use the same email ID throughout the course run for enrolling and for registering for the exam and for submitting assignments. If you use multiple email IDs, you submit assignments through one ID and you register through another mail ID, the assignment score will not be carried over to the other email ID. Okay, so this is extremely important. The responsibility of the mail ID being valid until the course run is over belongs with the candidate. Many times we hear that a person who is employed, they are leaving their employment. I use my employment email ID, now the email ID is no longer accessible, what do I do? There is no solution. that is why we say for exams you maintain one single email ID, which is your ID, and do not use other IDs such as your college ID or organization ID. Use a unique email ID for this purpose alone. Okay. So now that you have read and understood all this, we are going to say yes to the conditions. I agree to all of the above, and now is the time to pay the exam fees. So if you want to make any corrections, this is the time for you to click on back profile. If I click on back profile, it takes me to some basic details, the basic information here. I can go through it, make sure that it is correct. If there is any mistake, I can now click on edit button, and it lets me change certain fields. So for example, the name field, it is not allowing me to change. Date of birth, it is not allowing me. Email ID, it is allowing me. Male, female, I can change that. The gender, mobile number, I can change. Certain fields you will be allowed to change. Okay. If you are happy with that, with all that, then you can click on the next button. It will get saved. Again, college details. We have filled all the details. I agree and understand. I can click on the next button. Address details. I have filled everything. So again, I have to confirm that each page is correct because we have clicked on the edit button. We are asking you to once again confirm all details are correct. So each page I have to confirm that the details are correct. Photo and signature, I have already uploaded the correct signature. So it is saying save and next. You are about to submit your profile. Are you sure? Okay. I am clicking on OK. OK. And finally, add course. Tab has come, and again, if I click on one that I have already added, it will say OK. So I have added both courses. I am happy with that. So now I am going to view cart and proceed to pay. Once again, it is showing me the details. Everything is correct. So I am going to click on preview and checkout. So it's going back to the preview page again. All details are correct. So it is again asking me to fill the CAPTCHA. 8819. 171. Okay. So I have done the addition correctly, and it is showing me the green color. Okay. So I agree to all the above, and now I am ready to pay. So I am clicking on pay now. Kindly make sure that all the details. So you notice that we have put up so many alerts here. From past experience, we realize that many times wrong information is entered and we are getting mails asking us to make data changes. So it is easier if the candidate takes one extra minute to go through the details and ensure that what they enter is correct. Okay. Again, we are asking please confirm, and I am saying OK. Kindly make sure all the details are correct. I am saying OK. It says please do not refresh. Okay. Now it has taken me to the bill desk, the payment gateway. Here I can choose to use my credit card, debit card, etc. Fill all the details. The amount is shown 2000 here. Once after I fill all the details, I can make the payment. If I am not ready to make the payment, I can now click on cancel here and go back to my previous page. Okay. So this is how you make the fill the form and make the payment. Once you make the exam fee payment, you will get a confirmation email from NPTEL saying that you have successfully paid the exam fees. Okay. So going back to NPTEL portal, you can see that March and April has two different registration links. So far we have gone through the April exam registration link. March exam registration is also exactly same form, same process. So please share this with your students. Hope you have understood the steps and the alerts and the things that you have to pay attention to, the do's, the don'ts, the best practices and common mistakes that candidates tend to make. Please make sure that everybody is aware of it, and the timelines and guidelines, again and again remind the students to go through it and not miss the deadline, not say that I did not know that. It is everybody's job to understand and know the basic guidelines when they come to a forum or a portal to register for an exam. So uploading the correct photo, signature, making sure the name, the date of birth, etc. is entered correctly, all this will make everybody's job easier. And let's face it, these are students who are going to face the recruitment and getting a job, etc. So they have to also learn to fill a form properly. So this is the time that they can do this, take their time and do it. So please write to us if you encounter any issue, and we hope everybody understood the process. If you have any further questions, please write to us. Some SPOCs were asking about exam centers. Again, we have mentioned this last time also. Last time also we have mentioned that the exam center is something that we do not decide. Exam center is something that our exam partner decides. So what we do is we tell our exam partner that, for example, after looking at the exam registration count, we say in exam city Lucknow, we need 250 seats in the morning session and 300 seats in the afternoon session. We cannot tell them give us this particular exam center, because our exam partner TCS Ion conducts several exams, sometimes several exams on the same day. So they decide how to optimize their centers. They may have a bigger center where another exam is happening where there are larger number of candidates. So they may decide to give that center to that particular exam body. Similarly, for us NPTEL also they decide accordingly. So we cannot insist on our exam partner giving an exam center. Many times we get queries asking, can my college become an exam center? Again, this is not a decision that NPTEL makes. What we can do is we can connect you with our exam partner. Then the exam partner and the college will discuss and see if the college meets all the specifications that the exam partner is demanding. If you meet and the partner agrees, then they decide if the college can be used as an exam center, perhaps during this coming exam or next exam. Again, it is not a call that we make, because the specifications are something we do not interfere with. These are system requirements and other specifications that the exam partner decides. So we do not interfere in that decision. So please respect that and please understand that. And when we say that we are not able to help, please understand that, and as much as possible we try to give the nearest exam centers to all the colleges. So hope this was a useful session for you. If you have any further questions, please feel free to write to local chapter email ID. Everybody is familiar with that email ID now. So, or we have several WhatsApp groups, please write there. Thank you so much. Yes, we did face some technical difficulties in the beginning. The chat window was not working properly. Midway through the session, we did rectify that problem. I really apologize for that. Hopefully next time we will test it ahead of time and make sure that it works properly. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you so much. Thank you, JK. Thank you.